Hello humans and assorted species. Asalama meda vera malo, ura malo maone. So, if you could tell either from the title, thumbnail, or that section in Velithian, today's video is going to be about my world building project, Echoes of Velithia. This is the last part of a probably 4-part series in which I discuss a very small portion of concepts from Echoes of Velithia, which I think will be interesting. This video is all about the Snevari. The Snevari are to humans, as Benitu is to Earth, practically indistinguishable except for a few key features. It's incredibly unlikely for this sort of thing to happen, but we're going by we live on Earth because Earth just happens to be the planet with life rules. While keeping it simple, the evolutionary tree that got us Snevari begins with the chlorophyllc single-cell organisms that evolved into multicellular organisms. We ended up with many plants from that, but also, at some point, mammalian features and plant features teamed up, and we ended up with a whole class of organisms known as the Snevari. These are a whole heap of mammals. There's also some non-mammals, but primarily mammals, who all have chlorophyll in their cells, and they grow seeds and plant trees, which then grow and produce more mobile children. The Snevari are the latest and most intelligent in this line of evolution. Snevari are almost identical to humans, with the exception of having chloroplasts in their cells, and their waste disposal system is unburdened by a reproductive system. Instead, their reproductive system is located on both sides of the bodies just above the hip. These are seed pods and contain an intricate system that grows flowers. These flowers have both pollinator and pollination organs. This system allows both for cross-pollination between Snevari and self-pollination. During planting season, these flowers bloom and eventually turn into seeds. These seeds, when planted in the ground, usually during the planting festival, grow into trees. These trees then grow within them a Snevari child, which is ready to be harvested during harvest season. After harvest, the childcare process is about the same as it is for humans. Snevari are still mammals after all. There is often debate in the biological and philosophical communities of Snevari as to whether the tree or the Snevari came first. For example, are the Snevari people the method that the Snevari trees used to reproduce? Or are the trees how the Snevari reproduce? Since the trees often continue to live long after the Snevari they've created are gone, and, while uncommon, sometimes Snevari trees have created new Snevari years after they first did so, they can be classified as living their own lives. Because the Snevari would never dare cut down any tree, theirs or not, around Snevari towns there are large forests composed entirely out of Snevari trees. These gardens are often visited by Snevari, where they read to the trees and play and rest. In larger cities they have large areas inside the city and outside it, which make space for these gardens to grow. I promise I'd discuss the season system in more detail here. You, by now, probably understand that Snevari plant during planting and hold a large festival during that time so they'll celebrate and plant. In growth, all the Snevari take shade under their newly planted trees as they grow. They sing and read to the growing trees and the children that grow within. During harvest, the Snevari help for the children to be released from the trees, where they are then cared for. Take a guess. Yes, they also have another festival for this. Wow! And in plenty, there's new food and new people, which makes it a great time for another festival. Okay, let's go over Snevari biology just a little bit more. How do they eat? They eat like a human would. Some eat fruit and vegetables taken from plants with permission, or they might eat meat or animal products. Now, I know you must be thinking, maybe about the chloroplasts in the cells? Now yes, laying down in the sun or just walking in sunlight gives a very uniquely wonderful feeling to a Snevari. Similar to how humans feel better after just a bit of sunlight, but more extreme. Now, just like humans, Snevari can also be burned by the sun, slightly less easily than humans, but it happens for sure. And also, that blood sugar rush from sunlight, while it makes breathing easier and gives a short concentration boost, if the sugar levels rise too much or too fast, Snevari will start to feel a bit unwell. Now, of course, this ties into the SI, one of the orderist tactics being depriving the lowness of sunlight by creating a constant eclipse over part of the planets. Cruel, but a successful tactic. And no, not all the chloroplasts create a colour change. Sure, Snevari have the slightest green tinge in general, especially on those with less melanin. But mostly the chlorophyll isn't all that concentrated, and many Snevari have photoactive pigmentation of different colours, like purple or orange or blue, or really a whole heap of colours. While the pigment coverage isn't total, there is definitely a distribution of different patternings and frequencies. Many Snevari only have green freckles as a result, while others have completely patchy half melon and half chlorophyll pigmentation. There's also larger spot patterns, stripe patterns, total mixed coverage, and so on. However, there is a much higher proportion of green eyes among Snevari populations, which is odd, since you really shouldn't be doing photosynthesis with your eyes. Speaking of eyes, unless I think of more to add to this video, now I shall thank you for using yours to watch this video. If you didn't use eyes to watch this video, the point still stands. Thank you. Have a great day.